What is up, y'all people, Star Wars fans? This is your good man, Brighton Nelson, the twin of Cal Kestis from Jedi Survivor, and in this video, I'll be ranking all the stances. I feel like I came a little bit late to this game, because I feel like everyone and their grandmas has ranked this already, sadly. But also, I'm going to do it anyway, because you know it's fun. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to check out some other Jedi Survivor videos on the channel. Alright, let's get started with this. So I feel like every stance has its uses, you know. Single blade is versatile, the crowd control of the double blade, there's speed and cool stuff, dual wield, crossguard is really strong, blaster stance is range. So obviously this is more of just an opinionated thing because most of them they're all viable, like none of them are bad. But I think in my opinion, so I'm going to rank this just off my opinion. And yeah, so let's get started. In last place, this is already going to make this list controversial. I feel like people either put this in first or last, but I'm going to put it in last, and that's the double-bladed stance. So, I love the double-bladed stance in the first game, don't get me wrong. Like, it is way more fluid here, it's way more fun here, but I feel like it was so much more useful in the first game, because I feel like the double-bladed stance is outclassed by the dual saber and blaster stances. Once you get quick draw, dancing blades, and just in general, there's a lot of range that comes with the dual wield. Like you can I don't know, I feel like the swings are very fluid. You can also cancel mid animation and stuff. And yes, it's good, but also just like charging up shots, doing damage to multiple people at the same time, or yeah, quick draw, dancing blades. And it's not like it's that hard to do damage to multiple people with any of them, except maybe crossguard. But even still, you can throw the weapon and it'll go through multiple people. Like, it isn't that hard to do damage to crowds with any of the stances. And the double-bladed stance just does so little damage, in my opinion. I don't really think it's that great. It's really fun because you can relive the Battlefront 2 Darth Maul days with Cal as a Jedi. But other than that, it's very fun, but I feel like it's kind of outclassed and doesn't hit for enough damage to make up for the fact that it's good at hitting multiple enemies at once. Alright, next is going to be another controversial one. I feel like these two are either at the very top or the very bottom for everybody, so I think it's kind of funny. But I'm putting the single-bladed stance at second to last. So yes, it is the most versatile stance, but there's no reason to have a very versatile stance in a game where you can have two stances and you can make up the difference. Two stances that are very good at the two different things, killing enemies, killing bosses. And to me, I'm just like, well, what's the point? I can have two different stances that are very good, or I could have single blade stance, which is versatile, but I can still have another stance. I'm like, why would I use the single blade? It's fun, still, it's very fluid, but I just don't think it's as good as the other, and it's very balanced. If you could only pick one stance at a time, I'd probably put this in first, to be honest, or second or something. Probably second. But there's no reason to use this when you can have two stances at a time, in my opinion. The only time I really use a stance was to hone my abilities so I could play as Seer effectively, or so I could use Cal's Dark Side ultimate ability. So yeah, I am going to move on now, but yeah, just it's versatile, but you don't need versatility, honestly. Alright, next is going to be the crossguard stance. A lot of people, this is one that you either love or hate, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to put it in the middle. It's really good at taking down large beasts. Anything that's kind of slower is amazing to take down with this, or anything that's very weak. You can one-shot, or you can take down things with tons of health. It has good range damage with shockwaves and lightsaber throws and charged blaster reflections. It does the most damage of any of the stances. It is very good. I used it a lot, but I don't think it's as useful as the next two stances on this list. It's very good, very damaging, but it also is a little clunky and a little slow and hard to combine things, like combinations, you know. So, kind of weird, and it's hard. It's not something you can just switch right from crossguard to dual wield, and then it's a little bit weird to switch between them because every other stance feels so different from the crossguard stance. So while it's the most powerful, it really isn't as good as the next two on this list. Next is going to be the blaster stance, which is my favorite stance in terms of just straight up how fun I think it is. It's awesome range with the blasters. You hit like Dooku, which is really fun because I love Count Dooku, you know. Attacking at range, attacking quickly, decimating rooms of enemies, having long-range lightsaber attacks. It is a little bit weak right when you get it, but once it's fully upgraded and you get like Quick Draw, which is like land a sharp shot in Battlefront 2, if you haven't got that far in this game yet. But yeah, and you can also alter the charge shot, so you can do more damage. Sorry, not more damage. Hit more enemies. You can shock people. You can ricochet. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do with this blaster. And it's just very versatile, I feel like. And, like, the lightsaber strikes, to me, I think it's just, like, more fun to use this lightsaber than to use the single-bladed. Because, like, I love hitting with, like, the Dooku hits. And it's so fun to, like, blast someone, then hit him with a lightsaber, like, right at, like, the same time. It's so fun. So, it's my favorite stance by far. It's so fun. But I think that one more stance is a little bit better. And that's the dual-wield stance, obviously. Like, I'm not making up some weird stance here. It is dual-wield. I think this is the most, like, the most versatile. Not the most versatile, but, like, I was saying that's what the single-bladed was. But I feel like this just takes the single-bladed stance and makes it twice as good, because that's kind of what having two lightsabers would do. Has really good lightsaber throws, speedy attacks, blaster bolt splitting capabilities, and you can cancel mid-animation, which is only capable with this stance, which makes it so much better at defending against like bosses and stuff. So I would say dual wield is easily the best against bosses. Single is fine. Crossguard is good if they're like big boss enemies, but this is the only stance in the game that I think is amazing at killing bosses and enemies, because dancing blades is so good for murdering groups of enemies, and insta parry makes it the strongest lightsaber stance against single targets. And yeah, with the ability to murder single targets, bosses, groups of enemies, like, I think this is easily the best stance in the game. The only problem I have with the stance is that it's hard when you're using insta-parry to see if an enemy's using, like, one of the red abilities that you can't actually parry. That's kind of stupid, and I wish that it didn't make your whole screen freaking blue. But other than that, I think that the dual-wield stance is easily the best stance in the game. It is jack of all trades, master of all, in my opinion. It's, like, just basically better than the single-bladed stance, unless you're fighting an enemy that flies, but also that doesn't exist, so I don't really know. Or a very tall enemy with the aerial attacks. I can't really think of a time where I wouldn't want dual-wield stance. I always have blaster stance because it's my favorite, and then I usually either have dual-wield stance or crossguard stance. Mostly dual-wield stance, but if I'm going to go fight a big boss enemy, I'll take the crossguard stance with me. Thank you guys all for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to check out some other videos on the channel. We got a bunch of RPG videos, and of course, Jedi Survivor videos are coming. There's like 1 or 2 on the channel already, but there will be plenty more as I make more, obviously. So thank you guys all for watching, and have a great day. Peace out.